So this is Ubuntu Mate and the version is 24.04. So this is the installation menu. I'll select the language here, click next. So this is the accessibility settings and you can customize it to your needs. I'm going to leave everything as is, click next. So here you have to choose your keyboard layout. I'll select English, click next. So this is the internet connection. I'm going to leave it as use wired connection. So on this page, it says an update is available for the installer. I'm going to click update now. I'm going to close installer and relaunch it. So this is the type of installation page. How would you like to install Ubuntu Mate? There's interactive and there's automated. I'm going to leave it as interactive installation. Click next. What apps would you like to install to start with? So there are two options. The first option is a minimal installation and the second option is a full-featured installation. I'm going to leave it as the second option. Click next. On this page, it says install recommended proprietary software. And you have two options. Install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware. I'm going to check that box. And download and install support for additional media formats. I'm going to check that box also. Click next. Okay, so this is the disk setup. And how do you want to install Ubuntu Mate? There are two options, erase disk and install Ubuntu or manual installation. I'm going to select the first option. Click next. So I have to create an account. I'm going to type a name. I'll type a password. I'm going to leave this checked, require my password to log in. So the next option, use Active Directory. I'm going to leave that on check. I'm going to click next. So this is where you have to select your time zone. There's location and time zone. I'm going to click next. So this is a summary and it's ready to install. So I'll click on install. Okay, so installation is complete. I'm going to click on restart now. So I'm going to log in. So this is the login screen. I can also log in as a guest user just by clicking on guest session. So there are two panels. There's a top panel and there's a bottom panel. So on the top panel, this is the menu. There's Firefox. So I'll click on the menu icon. So there's favorites, there's all, and these are all the applications and apps. This is accessories. This is administration. So this is graphics. This is internet. This is office. This is preferences. This is sound and video. This is system tools. This is universal access. And this is the control center. So on the top right side, this is the accessibility. This is the network configuration icon. So you can edit the connection. You can add a VPN connection here. So this is the notification bell. And this is the power settings. This is the speaker icon. And there's sound settings here. So there's sound effects, hardware, input, output, applications. There's also song theme. So this is the clock with the time and calendar. You can also configure time and date settings here. You can also add an event and this will bring up the calendar. So you can configure mail here, contacts, calendar, task, memos. So this is the power button on the right side. and you can access system settings from here. So on the top panel, I'll just right click the panel. I'll click add to panel, and I can add any one of these apps on the panel. I'll select lock screen, click add. I'll select logout, click add, and it's here. So I can also move these around. I can right click, select move. So to remove the icons from the panel, I just have to right click and select remove from panel. I can do the same thing with the bottom panel. Just right click the panel, click add to panel. I'll select shutdown, click add. I'll also select system monitor, click add. And I can also right click the icon and move. I'll right click the icon, select remove from panel. So I'll click on menu and I'm going to select control center. So this is the control center. So there are different sections. There's administration, there's hardware, there's internet and network, look and feel, and personal. So this is the app center. I'm going to open it. And here you can search for apps and download. There's featured. There's productivity. There's development. And you can also sort by relevance. There's games. So there's manage. And here you can check for updates. So update all. So this is Mate User Manager. I can add users here. I just have to click on lock. So I'll click on add user. And I can add a new user here. So on account type, the user can be a standard user, or I can give that user administrative rights. This is printers, and here I can add printers. So in the hardware section, this is additional drivers I can download. This is Bluetooth adapters, Bluetooth manager. So this is the disk app. So if I have a second hard drive, I can format that drive. I can create partitions. So this is displays, and I can change the resolution here. I can change the scaling. I'll close this. I'm going to click on keyboard. There's general layouts, accessibility, mouse keys, type and break. I'll click on the mouse app. I'll click on power management. So I can configure when the computer goes to sleep. I can select the minutes or hours. I can also configure the display to sleep when inactive for, and I can choose the minutes here. This is general. So on the internet and network, there's advanced network configuration. There's firewall configuration. There's network proxy. I can configure the network proxy here. So in the look and feel section, there's appearance. So there's team, and I can select a team, or I can get more teams online. So there's background, and here I can select a different wallpaper. I'm going to select this wallpaper. So on the style, I can select any one of these: zoom, center, scale, stretch. I can also get more backgrounds online. This is fonts. I can add new font. So this is interface. I can also select customize. And I have all these options. There's also icons. There's pointer. I select the first option. So there's HUD settings. And you can configure the HUD settings here. This is a keyboard shortcut. This is the HUD theme. So this is indicators, and there's session. You can show full username on the panel. I'll turn this on, and the username shows up in the panel on the right side. I'll turn it off. I can remove the logout item from the menu. Remove and restart item from the menu. Remove the shutdown item from the menu here also. Show the user list in the menu. Here's date and time. This is sound. This is power. This is messages. This is notifications. And I can configure the maximum number of visible items. So this is the main menu app. And there's menus. There's show items. I can also create a new menu here. I can also add new item. So these are applications. There's accessories, education, games, graphics. This is other. This is programming. This is sound and video. This is system tools. This is universal access. And under system, there's preferences. And I can move these up or down just by selecting move up. I can also drag it up or down. So this is Mate tweak. So this is desktop panel and Windows. So on the desktop icons, there's show desktop icons. I can uncheck that. I'm going to check back the box. And here you can select the desktop icons you want enabled. Right now it's just a home folder and the mounted volumes. I'm going to select computer, network, and trash. I'll click on panel. So these are the panel settings. Here you can select a panel layout to change the user interface. So the default is familiar. There's contemporary. I'll select that. Click OK. I'll select Cupertino. So this is the dock, and this is similar to Mac OS dock. So I'm going to select Mutiny, and this is how it shows on the left side. I'll select Redmond. I'll select traditional. So I'm going to leave it at Cupertino. So under panel features, there's enable dock. I can deselect that. I can enable HUD, enable pull down terminal, enable keyboard LED. So on the panels, I'm going to select back familiar. So under panel features, I'll enable dock. So this is Windows. So under performance, there's Windows Manager Performance Tuning. I can select and deselect any one of these. There's Windows Behavior. There's Appearance. There's Fonts. There's Windows Manager. Select a Windows Manager. So there's Planck preferences. So there's appearance and there's a theme. I can choose any one of these themes. There's DAF. There's Ubuntu Mate. So on the position section, right now the dock is on the bottom. I can select left and it's on the left side. I'll select right. It's on the right side. I can select up. So there's alignment, and right now the default is center. I'll select end. I'll select start. And I'm going to select fill. I can also use this slider to adjust. So I can adjust the icon size. Right now it's 48. I can increase that. I can also adjust the slider. And this is the icon zoom. You can turn this on or off, and I can adjust it. So this is behavior, and there's hide dock, and these are the options. I can select auto hide. So this is the hide delay and on hide delay. So this is docklets. So I can drag these icons on the dock. For example, Clippy, I'll just drag it to the dock. This is pop-up notifications. I can enable Do Not Disturb. This is screensaver, and I can configure screensaver preferences. And these are some settings. Activate screensaver when computer is idle. Lock screen when screensaver is active. I'll click on Windows. There's behavior. There's placement. There's compositing manager. So under the personal section, there's about me, assistive technologies. There's preferred applications. And you can configure these. There's Office. You can configure your default application here for document viewer, word processor, spreadsheet editor. And I can enable it here. Enable assistive technologies. This is keyboard accessibility that can be configured. Mouse accessibility. So this is the file management. And there's views, behavior, display. I'll click on startup applications, and these are the startup programs. So if you don't want them to be added to the startup programs, you can just uncheck it. You can also click on add and add a startup program here, and you can edit these. You can change the delay, and you can also remove it. And this is options. So I'll open the Kaja file manager. I'll right click and create a new folder. So I'll right click the folder, and I have all these menu options. I can encrypt the folder. I can change the folder color. I can also compress the folder. I'll click on properties, so I can rename the folder here. This is emblems. I can add an emblem on the folder. For example, so I'll click on money, and this is how it shows. Here's permission, and I can configure the permission. This is notes. This is access control list. And this is extended user attributes. I can also right-click the desktop and create a folder. I can create a launcher, create a document, and I can change desktop background. So these are all the applications. There's screen reader. There's a snapshot tool. So these are some of the features of the new Ubuntu Mate 24.04. So I want to thank you for watching, and I thank you for subscribing.